Welcome back, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, to the super, not funny show, reviews. And today I'm reviewing Bel-Air Season 2, Episode 8. It's entitled Pursuit of Happiness, coming to you from Peacock. So, what did I think about it, and should you be watching? Before we get into the review, get down there, hit like on this video. Well, Episode 8 is a weird time to be introducing a whole lot of like storylines and drama and all that other stuff. And yeah, they're advancing some stuff, but man, you could just call this just 50 minutes of just mess, left, right, and center. So much to cover. It's going to be very hard to get through it very quickly, but let's try. With this episode, we've got Will continues his his work with the AAU team, and this time he gets to start. He gets out there and does his thing. What's going on with Carlton and his whole relapse into drugs? They actually give Ashley some sort of story stuff after sort of shafting her in the previous episode where she pretty much wasn't there. We got Aunt Viv on multiple fronts. She's dealing with sort of the fallout of her comments about the fellowship and the art institute that is a part of, and also she has to finally confront her ex-friend Erica, who's trying to poach Phil from the law firm. Oh, and while we're talking about Phil, he has to sort of square things with Will, but also trying to figure out what he's going to do about the whole law firm thing, and and he kind of comes to a decision about that. Meanwhile, Hilary's ex LaMarcus is definitely making his he's just definitely making his claim or attempt at to get back with her and everything. And what's going on with Doc, what's going on with Jackie, all of that stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on, and of course, Jeffrey's kind of around. He's the fixer. He's getting ready. He's helping out and definitely scoping out what's going on with Doc. So, and towards the end of the episode, we actually get some more movement on that. So, like I said, there's a lot of mess going on, a lot of things happening, and I mean, just at the outset, I like this episode. Yes, there's a lot of stuff happening in here. I literally had to, at the end of the episode when I finished watching, I was like, that was really good, but I'm gonna have to skim back through that so I can remember everything that was happening. No jazz in this episode either. That kind of threw me off. So I'm like, we can't ditch jazz, already. Yeah, they broke up, but come on. So I guess we got to get used to seeing LaMarcus, and we got to get used to seeing Connor again, because this is the part that I was just like, the whole episode I'm just like, no, because I mean, I'm sure everyone else likes plenty of different characters, but I'm a fan of Carlton. I really liked his maturation and the way he sort of stepped up, all that stuff at the end of the last season. He started out as a crappy person and sort of got it together, and he and Will are besties. But that whole thing with accusing Will of posting that video really kind of messed all of that up, and now he's even in the midst of that, Will asked him to sort of talk to Lisa about Drew and how he's really their opposition, and he's out to get him, and he screws that up. He screws the whole thing up. He's just messing up left, right, and center, and then further goes on a drug binge, and just like doing all the wrong things. And I'm just like, wow, why is all of this good work that was done in the first season, they're just like unraveling it all? And I'm hoping it's to a point, and to it's not just to break him down, but just break him down and build him back up. Because as we can see, Jeffrey's like he's on to that. Yeah, he dude literally lost his car. Like, how do you explain that and not have your parents lock you up forever until you're 18? I don't know, but they somehow they're not making as big a deal out of it. and maybe that's because Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv have other stuff going on. In particular, Aunt Viv, she's thinking she's going to get fired from or whatever from her fellowship, but instead she gets a job offer. And I remember I was watching that part and just thinking like, wow, that's great, but also horrible, because isn't it interesting that they give her a job offer, but it's going to require her to unseat another, a black woman who's kind of been at it for a while. And she said to her friend that she feels like she's stabbing her sister in the back. And I'm like, I see that. It's kind of messed up that rather than, having a space for her that doesn't supplant, Janice, instead she basically, they swap one out for another. It's kind of, I mean, if you look at it a certain way, it's kind of messed up. But I think Aunt Viv's going to definitely take it, because I mean she should, and she can do the job, but still, it's just it's a little messed up. Also, Aunt Viv went and she, the great thing, the connection between the original Aunt Viv and the new one is that she don't play. Aunt Viv don't play at all, and we know she don't play because she kind of let Phil, try to find his way with his whole law firm decision. But the whole thing with Erica, and we didn't really know. We knew some stuff went on, but we didn't really know what it was. But now we got to know the whole deal about her, dating Phil for 2 years while they were in college, even though they were friends. She and Aunt were friends and everything. And I love that she was just like, nah, we ain't friends. We're not asking each other about, nah, you gonna step off. You're gonna, this is purely professional. We are not playing that game anymore. And that's the Aunt Viv I know and I love. And so I love to see that being translated into this new version of her. She's, she wasn't playing around. That's really the Aunt Viv we see that really, she supports Uncle Phil, but when he's wrong, she steps up and like, nah, chill. So all that was pretty cool. I like the whole bit with Uncle Phil and his whole law firm, and again, we get more context background about how they started the firm and everything, but also his partner, his friend, calls him out like, hey, you're sitting up here looking for ways out of here. So, you talked all that mess about how, sticking with it for our brother, but like, what are you really about? And I do like that Uncle Phil's just like, okay, I'm sticking around. We're gonna figure this out one way or the other. We'll fight it out to the end. And so maybe that closed up that whole little thing with Erica. Maybe it didn't. I guess we're gonna see. But Uncle Phil, he really kind of steps up in a couple ways in this episode to really, be stand up for Will, to kind of be like, hey, I'm giving you a space. I'm gonna let you be in the driver's seat. That was pretty cool. And this whole thing with the law firm. As far as Will, I mean, come on. Will's got all this stuff going on. He sort of ditches Jackie, hanging out with Jackie so that he can be with Lisa while she's sort of dealing with the fact that her stepmom is having, her brother, and her sort of resentment and everything like that, and, helping her have some perspective. And I thought that was stand up, but also like, man, where's your priorities at? I feel like Will's been pulled in all sorts of directions. He's not really sure where his head is at, and we're sort of seeing that. Like, he still likes Lisa, he likes Jackie. He really wants to make this AAU thing work, and he does. He gets to start, and he goes ham on the court, and it's really cool. But also, he from one of the he finds one of his teammates that for whatever reason gets kicked off the team. He finds out the real about Doc and everything. That the whole thing that Doc's sort of corrupt. He's getting paid on the side to direct certain players to certain programs or whatever like that, or get agents or managers around them. And so it's kind of a disillusions Will, even though Uncle Phil sort of already had Jeffrey figured this out, what's going on. And it was kind of cool for instead of Uncle Phil being like, no, you can't do this because he's shady, he kind of let Will, sort of figure it out on his own. So it'll be interesting to see where they decide to go with that. I knew there was some drama there, but so far that's not huge drama. I thought it was going to be more than that because of the whole Jackie angle and what game is she playing that Doc's putting her up to. Not really sure. And of course, we didn't really see Jackie in this episode at all. So we're not. Who knows what's going on there? We know she's conflicted. We're not really sure where that's all going. And I like that Ashley didn't get sidelined this episode, even though her storyline was very small. But she did get something to do, and she, sort of reconciled with the girl that she thought had, she said snitched on Mrs. Hughes, but it turns out that, the girl Olivia didn't snitch on her. She was jealous of the fact that she was no longer Mrs. Hughes' favorite student, but she wasn't the one that snitched that. In fact, that was one of her favorite teachers. So who did it? Who ran their mouth? Who snitched on Mrs. Hughes? So we can find who they are and run them out of town on a rail, basically. But I think that right there, I hope is the start of maybe an actual storyline for Ashley that will, feature, some real forward movement with her character. We'll see. And we'll keep an eye on it. And finally, the whole thing with LaMarcus and Hilary. I mean, Jazz is out of the picture immediately, apparently. And LaMarcus, he is not playing. He's making a play for Hilary. And you got to admit, the man he's pulling out the stops. The billboard on Sunset, just basically rubber stamping whatever she had going on, hooking her. I mean, all that sort of thing. And then just really being honest and laying it all out on the line. I mean, come on. I like Jazz. That's my dog. But I can't deny that LaMarcus kind of stepped up and did his thing. So, Jazz gonna have to come. He said your man, he's gonna have to come correct. And she didn't even correct him about that. So I'm just wondering, like, Jazz, how you gonna bring this back together? Because LaMarcus I've got to say, he made a strong case. So I don't know. We are gonna see. But I love the episode. It's just a lot of stuff going on. It's very messy. A lot of things. A lot of strings crisscrossing, all that stuff. And it's only 2 episodes left at the end of the season. So I'm really curious how they're going to bring this all together in a satisfying way. Prediction, half of the things that they set up, not going to be satisfactorily resolved, I'm thinking. Or maybe there's more episodes than 10. I don't know. We're going to find out. But anyway, those are my thoughts on this episode. What did you guys think about it? What did you think about what I had to say? Get down to the comment section, leave your thoughts there. And of course, you can always hit me up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. And while you're down there, do me a favor, hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. Helps more people to see this channel and helps more people to see these reviews. All right, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, thanks for joining me. Come back next week. We're going to talk about episode 9 of Bel-Air Season 2. Till then, I've been Mote Pupe, your resident fabricant and comedy extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And I'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.